guys, Erin here again. It's the end of another week, and so I thought I would do my kind of update on where I'm at with this whole keto process. I apologize for not doing a video last week. I did that keto cook-off, and my kitchen was so hot, and editing that video was so long, and then Mother's Day happened, and so I just wanted to be kind of a little bit more chill after doing that whole process. I am intending on doing the keto cook-off challenge again this week. And so that should be fun. I do have a recipe in mind. When they said the ingredients, which are broccoli, ricotta, and bacon, a recipe came to mind, and so I'm very excited about doing that recipe and kind of putting something out there and together for that whole challenge. So, that being said, I figured that what would be helpful for you guys as I do these videos is to get a better sense of where I started. It's kind of one of those things that's hard to put out there, although I've put pictures out there of where I've started at. Sometimes having like the real numbers, that's where I get a little bit more tripped up on and get a little bit more, I don't want to call it embarrassed, but you get a little bit more sensitive, and there's some sort of aspect about it. Like some people, it might be the pictures that they get more sensitive about and having that out there. For me, it's the actual numbers, and it is what it is. So when I started this process, I had, taken my measurements. I'm a big advocate of that, taking measurements, taking pictures, because that's where I feel like I see the most changes, when I can actually look and see like, oh, you look like this, and now you look like this, all right. So my initial measurements, I took from several places. I took it from my neck, my arms, over my chest, my actual chest, my natural waistband, my largest place in my stomach, my hips, each thigh. I took it from basically all over the place. But the ones that I'm going to kind of be sharing and showing with you guys are kind of the ones that are the most common, I think, that people would take measurements from. And so that's my chest, my natural waistband, my waist or my stomach where it's the largest, and then my hips. So these were my starting numbers, and this is where I was at 90 days in the 90-day video, and then this is where I'm at now. And so I have lost a lot of inches, but as far as weight goes, because I've been kind of stalled out, due to the gluten, the sugar, alcohol, stress, all this various stuff that just has been weighing me down the last few weeks, I have, not really seen the scale change. I'm back to my lowest weight now, which is where I had at the 90-day video. So, I'm back there, and that feels great. It feels good to see that number again, and just kind of hopefully be past some of this stuff. But since the 90 days, I have across those 4 areas lost almost an inch and a half. And so that feels really, really good. That motivates me. That keeps, things going. So also a little successful thing that happened this week. I was able to work out every single day for the last 7 days. And I know there are people who say, you gotta rest your body. Don't work out that hard. My workouts vary. I do not do the exact same workout every single day. I do anything from incredibly low impact yoga to just some basic stretching one day, so more of like a relax kind of, but still being active, still being mindful of being fit kind of day. I do endurance days. I do days where I just do HIIT. I do days where I do HIIT mixed with kind of like strength exercises, body weighted exercises. I don't go to a gym and use, lift weights or anything like that. I use my own body weight. That's just where I'm comfortable now. I'm not in any way dogging, using things like CrossFit or doing, more bodybuilding type stuff, but it's just, I'm a suburban mom, and so for right now, I would just really be happy if I, look good in family photos. I mean, that's really shallow, but like that's where my motivation is. And if I'm being completely honest, like, I have no intentions of competing in like a fitness model competition, and I would never have the, confidence to do something like that. My motivation right now is literally just to be a good, healthy example to my kids, and then to, not be overweight, and to be, just kind of a good, healthy version of myself. So that way, as I go forward in life and I age, I'm setting myself up for the best possible, kind of aging experience that I can. So yeah, those are my kind of updates as far as the whole keto process goes. I have had some time to kind of like think about some things and, kind of direction of what I want to do. This channel has actually grown far more than I ever thought it would. I honestly thought after like 2 or 3 months, I'd be going to my husband and being like, will you subscribe to my channel so that somebody is watching me? I never, I didn't really have any expectation beyond me talking to my camera and trying to justify the purchase of buying a really nice camera to my husband by, taking really cute photos of our kids. And that would be, kind of the whole use of this. So I am pleasantly surprised by how many of you guys have joined me along the way. I definitely appreciate it, and I appreciate your support and a lot of the kind words that you guys leave, and then also some of the helpful tips that you guys have kind of said along your journey. When I did the refeed video, I got kind of mixed comments. I got comments where people were saying, I do a very scheduled refeed to I do a refeed every month and it works for me, it breaks through my stalls. And then other people saying, I've tried it and it didn't work for me, to the way I follow keto, you would never ever do a refeed day, it's something you should avoid. And so that lens, or that gives a lot of different perspectives of how people approach being keto and going on a ketogenic diet and all of that. And, I don't necessarily believe that one way is the wrong way or, one way is the best way. I think at the end of the day, throughout this whole process, there's a ton of different information out there. And there's a lot of people that are, would consider themselves the master of this whole process. And at the end of the day, the best thing that will work for me is probably different than the best thing that will work for somebody else. So I'm always leery about if you guys ask me questions about what's the best way to do keto, my advice would be the best way that you can incorporate it into your day-to-day life, the best way that you can find that you're successful on it. If you hit a plateau, maybe try playing around with things, especially if you've been fat adapted for a long time. If you tried a refeed day like I did and it didn't work, it's really not going to take you that long to get back into ketosis and just kind of get back on things. So there's no harm in, I think, trying. Sorry. They're upstairs playing a game right now. The kids are where they are puppies and they're hunting dinosaurs, because that is totally logical. Can we all just imagine puppies taking down a dinosaur? Kids are great. Their imagination is just never ending. So anyways, like I was saying, what would work for one person isn't necessarily going to work for another person. So I don't think there's any harm in trying different things at various different times as you kind of go through the process. My advice, again, is to find the way in which being keto is functional for you. And actually works for you, because once you figure out a way to put it into your own routine, to kind of make it work within your own schedule, you get a pattern, it becomes a habit, a habit kind of keeps you going, and then, it's the bad things become the breaking the habits. So then they feel unnatural. So right now, maybe if you're starting out, keto might feel unnatural. It might feel like a challenge, but after a while it becomes a habit and those other things become a challenge. So when I go to family functions and I see people eating things like potatoes or bread, it just doesn't feel natural to me at this point. It doesn't feel like it's something I want to grab for. It almost feels like this foreign concept. I've said it before, my kids are not keto. Every Saturday and Sunday, they constantly ask me to make them toast. So I have to, toast up some bread and I put butter on it. And they like a little honey. So it's like these are things that were massive triggers for me before. Like if you would have asked me in November of this past year what my ideal, Saturday morning breakfast would be, it would be a couple pieces of toast and black coffee. If you ask me that now, it's, bulletproof coffee, or it's coffee with heavy whipping cream and some sort of like, keto breakfast item to kind of go with it to get a little bit of protein in there or something, maybe eggs, or I might do a protein bar that works. There's very few that work for me, but maybe that's what I choose. So yeah, I just, my kind of process so far is, I'm going to continue to kick it keto. I'm going to continue to let you guys know what's happening as my body changes. I will continue to add kind of the stats to these numbers as they change. I will do another kind of transformation or update video when I hit 6 months on keto. Right now I'm approaching about 5 months on keto, so look forward to that in about a month. I'll do more progress photos then. Right now because of how much my waist had gone down, and then because I've been kind of in this like bloating phase because I ate gluten, my progress photos are very disappointing to me at this point. They basically kind of look like basically the same every single weekend. Some days I look a little bit more bloated, and so then that's even more like but yeah, I'll do more progress photos hopefully as this next month kind of turns out. I have a little bit more progress and things get a little bit better. So for right now, that's kind of how this week, and I guess even last week, has kind of turned out. Yeah, I'm gonna post the what's in my freezer, and then I'm gonna also be adding what supplements I'm using. You guys I've had so many conversations either on Instagram or even direct messaging. Some of you guys have messaged me on Facebook, on Twitter even, for kind of updates on what supplements I take. And I'm just gonna say right now, before I put that video out, I'm always super leery about telling people to take specific supplements or to recommend a specific type. When I supplement anything, I am literally recognizing that within my daily diet for that day, I did not get enough of a specific thing, and so I am supplementing it. And I'm going to say this again in that video, but it's an extra. Like, you didn't get it in your diet. What food choices you made today did not get these things in there, so now you will add them in order to get to the daily recommended need, or whatever your personal need is based on either where you're deficient or your gender, your age, your doctor's recommendation, whatever it is that you need to have extra of. So it's one of those things where, like, I feel like if you show somebody what supplements you take, people then might feel like they have to take those, or you're in some way saying that these are the best supplements to take. And I watch other people do videos on that, and I always just kind of like feel like it's sort of dangerous in some ways. So my big disclaimer is, again, in this video, and I'll say it again in the other video, so I apologize for repeating myself, but it's really about recognizing what it is you're missing. So if you're missing some of the things that I'm missing, I'm glad to go over the brands that I'm using to get it in there, but you can get tested for where vitamins and minerals you're deficient in. You can have your doctor test you for it. And that's what I would do before, going crazy and buying a ton of different supplements and, potentially taking more of something than you need, or potentially taking it in the wrong form. So yeah, that video will be up probably we're going to be inundating you guys with tons of videos here in the next couple days, because I am going to do, like I said before, that keto challenge again, and I will do a video showing how I make that dish. I'll probably cook that tomorrow, so this video will probably be up on Sunday, that video will probably be up on Monday, and I'll probably upload the keto freezer supplement video on Wednesday. So lots of videos coming up in the next week. But yeah, I guess that's basically it, because I've really rambled way too long on this video. So again, until next time, I hope you guys are doing good. I hope everything is going good in your world, and I will see you guys later. Bye.